are you debating our strategies? Nothing.
They're all being jealous of Percy because he's coming to Hawaii with us.
No.
Oh, I would be very jealous too.
Nope, that's just having a disagreement.
You just said how you only get 30 minutes on the beach because you're always watching all the games.
That's true.
Yeah. It's work,
That
work.
30 minutes is pretty good 30 minutes.
It's not half. It's not half.
There you go.
Go ahead, guys.
Weird having a long break like this?
Long breaks I'm not a huge fan of, but, academically, finals, it was great for us. They were able to really lock down and focus, had a couple days off, regain their energy. Energy is a big part of this thing, and so, they're ready and excited to play.
A lot of freshmen on this team. What kind of students are they? What kind of stressor was this, the first fall finals?
Always your first finals in college from, in all areas, practice, load, time management, all those things are difficult, but I think they've done a great job. They're way more advanced than the last two classes that we've had. I think they've adjusted really well.
And you have a great infrastructure for them too, the
Yes.
support network.
We have incredible academic support, athletic department support. So these kids, they've really embraced it and have worked on being what we call being professional and doing the right things the right way. And they've done a great job.
To this point, 128 assists, 135 turnovers.
Yep.
How do you get better feet in the post? Just cutting down those mistakes.
You know what? We've had problems with charges, and that's probably trying to do a little bit too much. 25% of our turnovers are on guys charging or traveling, and those are kind of just going too fast. And a lot of these games in the three games that we played against top, the supposed top teams, we had average 19 turnovers, and so that's obviously an area that we're trying to get better every day. Making it a focus and really understanding that you got to own the ball. The ball needs to be the most important thing. Defensively, off it, you defend it, you fight for it, and you can't just give it away. We just got to increasingly get better every game.
I think it was your first press conference this year when you said not everybody can have 2 turnovers. Like certain spots you just can't have a turnover.
Yeah.
But every starter now has at least 2.
Yeah.
So is it systematic?
Well, I think a big thing is for us is, and what I challenge the team is, can everybody just take away 1 turnover? And if I'm playing 8 or 9 guys a night, not to say that everybody does it, but if everybody's just a little bit more focused, and we do that every game, then that's, instead of 19 turnovers, 8 guys, now you're at 11. Now you're getting 8 extra shots. It's just everybody being aware, everybody, taking responsibility of that. And, we'll see where it goes. We've charges, that's them slowing down and feeling comfortable. The more reps you get, the better. Travels, travels, charges, all those different things. We can get better at that. But I like, there's a different type of turnover. There's the turnover, the advancement, that it's being aggressive because we want to be able to push and run, and it might go out. We can get better at that, but I do like those. We made a couple crucial turnovers late in the game against Zaga, and that's where you have to value it. But we're getting better at it. We're focusing on it.
Is it at the stage where you get to like the punitive level that as to where if you make a turnover, now you're sitting next to me, or we're not quite there yet?
No, you know what? I think it's more so like certain players, they're getting the ball stripped around the basket. There are certain guys that charge, and there are certain guys that leave their feet. And so part of the development part here is making sure that you do what? That you're improving individually. And so, getting to a jump stop in the paint rather than leaving off of 1 foot, being in control, slowing down. I think with our youth and new roles, it's going really fast. And the only way that you kind of get back into that is through experience, repetition, and focusing on those things. Where focus goes, energy grows. And so we do a big focus on that every day.
You talk about you want them to be aggressive, but is there a balance there to find between being aggressive and maybe trying to push too much?
Yeah, there is. You can also be too unselfish. Like a couple days in practice, we're really sharing the ball in a really good way. But then if Quade Green has a wide open shot, I don't want him to make the next pass because he's one of the best shooters. But he's trying to show that he's unselfish. So there's some still learning stuff going on. which is, if it was so easy, everybody would be great. You just, how are we going to get better in the next 12 hours and focus on that? And that's all you can control.
You guys are getting closer to starting conference play pretty soon. Are you where you want to be at this point, or where you thought you would be?
No, you know what? Well, obviously we wish we were undefeated, and obviously you wish you were more advanced, but more advanced meaning more ahead of the game. But at the end of the day, everybody has a different learning curve. Some people I could go and teach you tomorrow and you get it that day. Some people take a month, a month and a half, and that's the challenge. That's why they call it coaching. We just got to keep coaching them up every day. Our staff's done an incredible job of keep working with these guys. Last year was a great example of, we improved in a lot of different areas as the season progressed. And that was a team that had 2 years into it. And so we're hoping that the learning curve will be there, but we've had some great moments. Now it just goes back to the consistency of those moments.
Jaden, one of the things he's been called for a few times, and you mentioned charges, is lowering that shoulder
Sure.
on the dribble.
Yeah.
Is that something that maybe later on in the year is not going to get called, where the officials are trying to make a statement earlier in the year? Or does he really need to change that?
That's a good question. I just think it goes back to the same thing, is you can't force things to happen. Like, the defense determines who gets the shots and how they're playing. Now we've got to make them more aware of, Jaden in high school, obviously they were designed to stop him, and you see him when he has success, they'll play him a certain way. They might play off of him. They might already be in an angle to try to go charges. They're doing their scouting. There's a lot of really good coaches out there. And that where he needs to be able to say, what? All right, that's okay. I'm going to reverse it. We're going to move it, and we're going to still get more player movement and ball movement. And a lot of these guys that were the go-to guys in high school, where they can take 15 shots, you have to be able to be efficient in 10, 11, 12 shots. And in this game in college, the difference between college and high school, it's bigger, faster, stronger. And so those are all adjustments. But I think both Isaiah and Jaden have really adapted really, really well. And I think you're just going to see them getting better, better, and better.
What have you thought in year 2 for Elijah Hardy and his role?
Well, he didn't really have a role the first year.
Yeah.
He did. He was really good in practice, and he pressured David, and we played Jalen Noel at the backup point guard, and he really helped them get better. He had an incredible attitude. He, brought positive energy every day, even though he didn't have the role that he wanted. So really happy with him. And in Italy, he did really good. At TCU, he's now got a role that helps us win. He's an exceptional on-ball defender. So when we play man, he brings he's an attack guy, which has been great. He's also a God-given passer. He sees things. If I would say that there's something that he doesn't, do well that he can improve is sometimes with passing he tries to hit too many home runs when we need to start hitting singles. But he's a special passer, and he's got a special gift to pressure that basketball.
Is he a better shooter than he showed in games?
I think so. The role that he has, it's very hard. It's like being a relief pitcher compared to being a starting pitcher, right? Some guys can come in. Do you remember last year, though? I would play him for 1 minute, and at the end of the games, we'd be up, and what did he do every game? He hit a 3. Watch, go back and look. All those were like, you know how hard that is? Like, you're not playing the whole game, and the last minute he comes in, he makes it. So we know he can shoot, and he's really improved on it. Just goes back to, I think, he went from not playing to now playing, say, 8 minutes, 9 minutes a game, but consistent. That's a hard thing to do. So these are all levels of development. So I think, just like Jamal Bay last year did what? And what was Jamal Bay at the end of the year, and then what did Jamal Bay become? And so that's part of the process. And Elijah's, he's good because he's got an incredible attitude, and he's got great leadership ability. So we're high on him.
After the Gonzaga game, there was a lot of former players here, and one of the guys that did a lot for you, David Chris, was here wearing a big brace. Did you get a chance to talk to David?
Talked to David. David came by the other day. It was great seeing him and Dom at the game, and obviously Spencer and Quincy and all the guys. I think DeJounte was there. I didn't see him, but I heard he was there. Listen, when you have your ex-players come back to support us, it's an incredible thing. It's why kids want to come here. You see the kids that have played here have had success in the NBA, off the court, on the court, whatever it may be. That's the sign of a school that's built an incredible family of people.
Couple
more
guys. When you look at Jamal Bay, he had two of his best performances starting. Do you see that as a coincidence? Or do you think he needs to kind of be on the floor early to get into a rhythm?
You know, his best game he didn't start was Western Washington. I keep going back to it, and he came in after, I think, 3 minutes, and he just played. Jamal's a really good player. Everybody wants him to be this consistent guy. Part of the process is no one's perfect. He's had great moments. He's one of our best defenders, if not one of the best at the guard position, if not the best. He's a confident shooter, and he makes others around him better. So we're excited about his growth, and obviously we wish everybody would be consistent, but it's part of the growing process. But he's taken a huge step forward.
And
On
you know,
Seattle,
and
you-
like these past two games here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, really. It's about like a question. Yeah, go for it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Just in these past two games, what have you seen from Quade? It just seems like these sort of first 9 games have been a bit of bonus for you guys, you know, in a sense with him, and it seems like sort of lately he's been able to kind of find something.
You know what? He's a guy. He's been you know, the first games he's been holding back. You know, it's the guy that starts is. You know, we want him getting the ball moving and helping everybody get shots and put them in positions to score and be good. And, you know, Quade's always been a guy who can really shoot it and really score. And, you know, you saw that on display in the last couple games. And, you know, having just another guy that can make plays. But, you know, first things first, you want him to do what? And he's starting to learn the zone better. That's been a big learning curve, being small. You know, the angles, the different plays, and I think he's getting better at that, which I've been impressed. And then on top of that, it's, you know, I want him to be the leader. I want him to be an extension, him and Elijah and Marcus to be an extension of me on the court, and that's running the team first, and then offense second. But then, like the great point guards, when scoring's not happening from everybody else, he can step up and have the ability to do what? Score. And that's that awareness as a coach and where we have to go and where we have to score.
Thoughts on the Seattle U?
Seattle U, you know, this is a team that's played us really tough the last 2 years. You know, we were able to. The one thing I really respect about Coach Hayford, he's done an incredible job. He's a really good coach. They've had some injuries, but they have a senior-laden team. They've got a lot of upperclassmen. Terrell Brown is as good a player as we'll see in our league or whatnot. Carter's also, you know, gives them a big physical body down the paint. You know, it's a team that keeps fighting. I watched this. They played Syracuse this year, and Syracuse was up 21 in the first half. And you know, the sign of a good program and a good coach is how they respond. They came back. They cut that lead to 7. I think they made 7 of 8 threes or 6 or 7 threes. And just like our game last year, we were up, I think, 20 with 10 minutes to go, and they just kept fighting. They have a fighting spirit. They're very well coached, and they've got a couple of really talented players that can play in any league, you know, on any team in our league. And so it'd be a great challenge for us. Don't look at their record. They're way better than that. And when you play a rivalry game or a game that has significance like that, it's going to be great for both teams.
Carter versus
Last one,
Isaiah
guys.
Stewart, kind of big boy basketball in the paint.
Well, you know, it's great when you see really good players go against really good players. That's what makes college basketball so great.
Favorite Christmas movie?
We were watching Elf last night. It's incredible.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
That's good.